Welcome to Stoic Journey. Stoicism offers us guidance on how to navigate relationships with patience, serenity, and self-control. It provides profound insights into building authentic and resilient connections with those around us. By embracing the core principles of respect and self-esteem, you can grow into a more confident and respected individual, someone who commands respect and admiration in every interaction. Life is constantly changing, and it's natural to sometimes feel lost, swept away by rising emotions and fleeting desires. At times, it may seem like we're just another face in the vast sea of people. However, deep down, each of us desires to be valued and appreciated for who we truly are, not just for appearances or superficial qualities. If you're seeking ways to achieve this, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to explore 10 lessons that will make you more valuable in the eyes of others. Before we dive into these lessons, don't forget to show your support by liking this content, subscribing to our channel, and turning on notifications so you won't miss any of these valuable insights. Now let's illuminate the path to a life full of meaning and lasting happiness. Let's get started. Number 1. Mastering nonverbal communication. Think about this. In relationships, or when meeting new people, we often have a tendency to share everything quickly, our time, space, and even our deepest thoughts. However, Stoics advocate for a more intentional approach, because when something is always available, it tends to lose its allure. This is a fundamental aspect of human nature. If you're always available and too easy to access, where's the mystery, the anticipation, or the excitement? Let's explore how to gracefully set boundaries, following the principles of Stoicism. Start with how you present yourself. Dress well, but simply not just for appearance, but as a subtle statement of self-respect. You're not hiding yourself, but you're also not revealing everything at once. It's about balance, showing that there's more to you than what meets the eye at first. Another key aspect is how you manage your time and attention. In our constantly connected world, being selective about who gets your time sends a powerful message. It's not about being aloof. It's about demonstrating that your time is valuable and that you allocate it thoughtfully. When you're with someone, be fully present. But when you're not, focus entirely on your life, passions, and personal growth. Stoicism also emphasizes emotional control. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. Rather, it's about maintaining a balanced perspective. It's about not letting small issues disrupt your inner calm. It's about preserving your inner peace and not giving your emotional energy to just anyone. Like your time and attention, your emotional investment should be something others must earn. I'm not suggesting you become emotionless or distant, like a statue. We're all human, and meaningful relationships are essential for a fulfilling life. However, taking time and nurturing relationships in a way that's deep and lasting provides more value than shallow, fleeting satisfaction. Remember, setting boundaries is not about playing games or manipulating situations. It's about self-respect and staying true to your principles. It's about showing, not just saying, that you value yourself and deserve respect. Number 2. The power of saying no. Being true to your principles and having the courage to be yourself is essential, especially when it comes to asserting boundaries in relationships. It's about knowing your values and consistently upholding them, even when doing so causes discomfort. Imagine finding yourself in a situation where your partner suggests something that doesn't align with you. Perhaps it's moving too fast, or it conflicts with your moral beliefs, like suggesting an open relationship when you value monogamy. The easier choice might be to agree, but this is precisely when Stoic teachings should come into play. Saying no in these moments is a powerful affirmation of your values and boundaries. For example, you might be dating someone who often makes last-minute plans and expects you to drop everything to be with them. While you might want to always say yes to avoid conflict or please them, Stoicism advises you to pause and consider whether this aligns with your value of respecting time and commitments. In this case, saying no reinforces your principle that your time is valuable and you deserve to be treated with respect. This is not an easy task, especially when deep emotions are involved. You might worry that your refusal could push your partner away, but this is where Stoic courage comes into play. Stoicism is not just about tackling external challenges, it's also about facing your internal struggles. Saying no is an act of self-respect, showing that you value yourself enough not to compromise on what's most important to you. Of course, there is risk involved. The relationship might suffer. But consider this: if standing firm in your values causes someone to distance themselves from you, perhaps that person wasn't truly right for you. For instance, if you hold a strong value against dishonesty, and your partner pressures you to lie about something small to save face, standing firm and saying no might strain the relationship in the short term. But in the long run, it could save you from a relationship that undermines your integrity. Embracing this mindset can significantly alter the dynamics in a relationship. When your partner sees that you have the confidence to say no and that you won't sacrifice your principles to please others, it changes their perception of you. It signals that you possess self-respect and self-worth, qualities that are deeply attractive. Take a moment to reflect on this crucial lesson. Asserting your right to say no is vital. It's about maintaining your authenticity and integrity, just as Stoics encourage. It's about building relationships based on mutual respect and genuine connection, not merely convenience or fear of loneliness. Number 3. Knowing when to walk away. One of the most empowering decisions we can make is choosing whether to stay in or leave a situation that no longer serves our happiness. This is especially crucial in relationships. Perhaps we've all faced that moment of realization that we deserve better, yet we hesitate to leave out of fear of loneliness, fear of change, or a fragile hope that things might improve. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in recognizing our power to stay or to walk away when a situation conflicts with our principles. This doesn't mean you should abandon a relationship at the first sign of difficulty. Relationships require effort, understanding, and patience. However, it's important to be so clear about your values and principles that you are willing to leave when something fundamentally clashes with them. It's about having the inner resolve and stoic courage to declare, "I respect myself too much to settle for less." Considering the decision to leave isn't always about making a dramatic exit. Often, it's a quiet, thoughtful realization that a particular situation no longer aligns with who you are. Yes, it can be scary. The unknown future can be daunting. But remember the teachings of Stoicism: to face challenges with courage and to embrace life's uncertainties. Sometimes the bravest act is letting go of what no longer fits your path. This mindset can transform everything. In a relationship, knowing that you're there because it reflects your values, not because you're afraid to leave, completely changes the dynamic. You're not staying out of desperation or fear. You're staying because it's truly where you want to be. And here's a crucial understanding. When you summon the courage to leave what no longer serves you, you create space for something better to enter your life. It's like clearing out the old to make room for the new. It's about having faith that something greater is out there and giving yourself the chance to discover it. Being prepared to move on isn't about being indifferent or uncaring. It's about caring enough for yourself to say, "I deserve better." It's about applying Stoic principles in difficult moments, understanding that your worth isn't tied to anyone else. In embracing this mindset, you affirm your commitment to living a life that aligns with your values and opens the door to relationships that truly reflect the respect and love you deserve. Number 4, never chase. After you're in love with someone and everything seems to be going well, then they start to distance themselves from you. Our natural instinct might be to chase after them, to close the widening gap. However, Stoicism challenges us to reflect on why we would pursue something beyond our control. Our response should come from a place of self-respect and inner tranquility. I've found that trying to hold on to someone who is pulling away is one of the most emotionally draining experiences. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The harder you try, the more it slips away, leaving you feeling empty and frustrated. The more I apply Stoic principles to my life, the more I realize that this kind of pursuit only leads to more suffering. The Stoic approach encourages us to stand firm in our own value. If someone is drifting away, let them go. This isn't about being detached or uncaring. It's about recognizing that you can't control another person's feelings or actions. You can only control your own response. Admittedly, this is incredibly difficult. I've struggled with the fear of letting go, worried that if I don't fight to keep someone in my life, I might end up alone. But over time, I've learned that true strength comes from trusting that if someone truly values you, they will make it known. It's about not letting someone else's behavior dictate your self-worth. It's about confidently stating, "I deserve respect, and if you don't see that, someone else will." This mindset changes everything. It puts the control back in your hands. You're no longer at the mercy of someone else's whims or uncertainties. Instead, you dictate your own emotions and actions, which is both empowering and liberating. And here's the powerful part. When you stop chasing after others and start focusing on your own life and personal growth, remarkable things begin to happen. I've experienced this firsthand. The moment I stopped seeking validation from others and started investing in myself, I noticed a shift, not just in the type of people I attracted, but in how I felt about myself. You attract those who are drawn to your confidence and self-assurance. It's like sending out a message that says, "I know my worth and I value myself." So, let's internalize this lesson. Understand that you never need to chase anyone. Embrace a Stoic attitude in your relationships, calm, self-respecting, and focused on what you can control. It's about finding peace within yourself and not seeking validation from others. In my experience, when you approach life with this mindset, you not only protect your self-esteem, but also open the door to relationships built on mutual respect and genuine connection. And in the end, those are the relationships worth having. Number 5. Developing healthy skepticism. We've all been in situations where someone says exactly what we want to hear, and despite noticing some red flags, we're tempted to dive headfirst into the relationship. This is where applying a Stoic mindset can be incredibly helpful. Think of healthy skepticism as a kind of superpower. It's not about being cynical or distrustful. It's about staying grounded in reality and not blindly accepting everything at face value. This means observing, asking the right questions, and taking the time to carefully consider everything before making any decisions. Imagine this. You meet someone who seems perfect. They shower you with compliments and talk about a future together, even though you've just met. A Stoic would advise you to slow down and observe whether their actions align with their words over time. It's a gentle reminder not to get swept away by the excitement of romance, but to remain vigilant and clear-headed. This kind of skepticism isn't about interrogating or constantly doubting someone. Instead, it's about being thoughtful and discerning. It's about truly listening to what the other person is saying and watching how they behave. It involves taking the time to really get to know them, ensuring that their actions are consistent and genuine. Stoics value logic and reason, always striving to balance these with their emotions. This balance is crucial in relationships, where emotions can sometimes cloud our judgment and cause us to overlook important details. By practicing this Stoic skepticism, we protect our hearts. We avoid rushing into relationships without certainty, giving ourselves the space to truly understand who the other person is, rather than projecting our desires onto them. From my own experience, I've found this approach to relationships invaluable. In the past, I've been guilty of getting caught up in the excitement of a new relationship, only to later realize that I overlooked early signs that things weren't right. By incorporating a bit of Stoic skepticism, I've learned to step back, observe, and reflect before fully committing. This has helped me avoid unnecessary heartache and led to more meaningful and balanced relationships. So, let's acknowledge the value of a healthy dose of Stoic skepticism. It's about being smart, attentive, and making sure that our emotions don't overpower our reason. It's about protecting our emotional well-being by approaching new relationships with mindfulness and thoughtfulness. We're not shutting ourselves off from love. Rather, we're engaging with it in a mindful and considered way. In doing so, we create space for relationships that are not only passionate, but also grounded in reality and mutual respect. Number 6. Know your true value. Imagine yourself as a rare gemstone. Not everyone recognizes the value of a rare gemstone. Some might walk by without giving it a second glance. However, this doesn't diminish the value of the gemstone. It remains unique and precious, just like you. Your value doesn't decrease just because someone else fails to see it. We have all faced rejection and moments that make us feel inadequate, especially in a world that often sets perfection as the standard. But from the Stoic perspective, your value doesn't depend on others' approval. It stems from how you live your life, your behavior, ethics, and actions. Are you kind? Are you honest? Do you live by your principles? These are your true values. Stoicism encourages self-reflection, urging us to look beyond the surface and consider our deeper qualities. Take a moment to reflect on what makes you unique. Are you empathetic, assertive, a reliable friend? These qualities form the foundation of your value. When you truly understand and appreciate these traits, it changes how you interact in relationships. You won't tolerate poor treatment, not out of arrogance, but because you respect yourself and understand your worth. Here's a simple Stoic exercise. The next time you feel undervalued, instead of doubting yourself, ask, what virtues and values do I bring to this situation? Remind yourself of these qualities. This isn't about boasting, it's about reaffirming your value, independent of external validation. As the renowned Stoic philosopher and emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In the context of relationships, this means finding strength in your own value. recognizing that it doesn't rely on whether others acknowledge it. Recognizing your worth is not a one-time event. It's a continuous journey, a daily practice that develops over time. It involves waking up each day and reminding yourself of your inherent value, not because of what others think, but because of the qualities that define you. By constantly reaffirming your worth, you build a strong foundation that can withstand the ups and downs of relationships, allowing you to navigate them with confidence and grace. Understanding and embracing your self-worth through the lens of Stoicism helps you maintain integrity and stay true to your values in any relationship. It's about knowing that your value is intrinsic, not something granted by others, but something you always carry within yourself. Number 7. Carry yourself with pride. Have you ever found yourself trying to impress someone only to realize that you've drifted away from your true self? Maybe you adjusted the way you dress or changed the way you speak, all in the hope of gaining approval. But the truth is, your self-worth shouldn't be tied to your style, the trendy places you visit, or the image you project. It stems from your actions, decisions, and the way you conduct yourself. Consider this scenario. 2 colleagues are assigned to lead a meeting. One tries to dominate the conversation, constantly interrupting and presenting bold, flashy ideas with little substance. The other is quieter but clear and sincere, offering well-thought-out ideas and respecting others' contributions. Who leaves a more lasting impression and earns greater respect? It's often the person who remains genuine, composed, and respectful. This scenario illustrates the importance of presenting yourself with dignity, a principle deeply valued in Stoicism, which emphasizes self-control and virtue. In today's dating world, the lesson remains the same. Be yourself. If you love books, embrace that. If you're passionate about a particular hobby, don't hide it. The point isn't to create a facade to fit in. It's about being comfortable and confident in who you are, recognizing your worth exactly as you are. Another important aspect is how you treat yourself. The way you value yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. If you are overly critical of yourself, it subtly signals that others can be critical of you too. On the other hand, when you value yourself, your time, energy, and emotions, you send a powerful message. I deserve respect, and I expect to be treated accordingly. Reflect on the wisdom of Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, who said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In relationships, it's not just about your appearance or words, but how you respond to situations. Do your reactions come from a place of desperation or from a place of dignity? Do you compromise your principles to fit in? Or do you remain true to yourself, even if it means standing alone? Perfection isn't the goal here. We all have flaws and awkward moments. What matters is how you navigate those times. Do you crumble under pressure, or do you remain steadfast, learn from the experience, and keep moving forward? So how can we begin to exhibit more dignity in our daily lives? It might be by setting clear boundaries, or saying no to things that don't align with our values. Perhaps it's about treating yourself with greater compassion and respect. By viewing yourself as someone deserving of respect, you naturally encourage others to see you in the same way. When you take pride in who you are, grounded in your values and true self, you not only enhance your relationships, but also create a more fulfilling and balanced life. Number 8. Actions carry more weight than words. In our daily interactions, especially in relationships, we often encounter people who say all the right things but fail to follow through. Stoicism teaches us to look beyond charming words and focus on concrete actions. Think about it. It's easy for someone to make grand promises and paint an ideal picture of the future. But do their actions align with their words? That's where the truth lies. We've all experienced it, being swept up by beautiful words and impressive promises, only to later realize that the follow-through was lacking. They say they'll call, but they never do. They make plans, but cancel at the last minute. This is where we need to channel our inner Stoic. Stoicism advises us not to be swayed by sweet talk or overwhelmed by emotions. It encourages us to remain rational and see things for what they truly are. If someone's actions don't match their words, take it as a red flag, a sign that you should pay closer attention. Adopting this mindset can transform how you approach relationships. You start to notice the smaller details. How does this person behave when things get tough? Do they keep their promises? Are they truly present? Not just in words, but in meaningful actions. Here's the interesting part. When you focus on people's actions rather than their words, you set a standard. You're effectively communicating, "I'm not just listening, I'm observing." This awareness can be incredibly powerful. People realize that they can't just charm their way into your life. They need to prove that they are reliable and sincere through their actions. This approach isn't about being cynical or distrustful of others. It's about being wise and protecting your emotions with a bit of Stoic wisdom. It's about not letting your emotions carry you away, but staying grounded in reality. So, commit to this. Observe actions. Don't just listen to words. Approach relationships with a Stoic perspective, rational, observant, and thoughtful. Because in the end, actions always speak louder than words. If you've read this far and are still with us, I invite you to take a moment. Share your thoughts in the comments below, or simply affirm your commitment by typing, "I choose action." Your engagement underscores your connection to our message. Let's keep moving forward with this mindset, focusing on what truly matters in our relationships. Number 9. Setting boundaries without words. Stoics emphasize the importance of showing, rather than merely telling, which is particularly crucial when it comes to setting boundaries in relationships. It's easy to declare that you won't tolerate mistreatment, but the real challenge lies in how you react when that boundary is tested. This is where true strength emerges, not in words, but in our actions. I understand that this isn't always easy. It can be especially challenging when emotions are involved. However, remember the wisdom of Stoicism. We can control our responses. If someone crosses a boundary, your reaction, whether addressing the issue directly or creating distance, will establish and reinforce that boundary far more effectively than any words can. Imagine a scenario where someone lies to you, and honesty is a core value for you. How you respond in that moment, whether by confronting the lie or choosing to distance yourself, demonstrates how much you value your boundary. It's not about creating drama. It's about respecting yourself enough to act in alignment with your values. This approach can transform your relationships. When others see that you have clear boundaries and are willing to enforce them, they gain a clearer understanding of what you will and will not tolerate. It's a powerful way to nurture self-respect and stay true to it. Consider how you handle everyday situations, not just the major ones. What do you do when plans fall through or someone disrespects your time? Do you let it slide, or do you calmly demonstrate through your actions that such behavior is unacceptable? Stoic mindfulness plays a crucial role here. It involves being present and aware of how you respond to the events around you? Do your actions align with your boundaries? Are you being honest with yourself? Paying attention to these daily moments is vital because these are often when your boundaries are truly tested. It's in these small, seemingly insignificant interactions that you can either reinforce or weaken your boundaries. As we interact with others daily, let's strive to incorporate a bit of Stoicism into how we express and maintain our boundaries. It's not about being rigid. It's about guiding our responses with our inner compass. And trust me, when you start living this way, people will notice. They begin to see you as someone who not only sets boundaries, but values themselves enough to maintain them consistently. Living with this integrity, where your actions align with your principles, not only strengthens your relationships, but also deepens your self-respect. It's a quiet yet powerful way to communicate your value to the world and to yourself. Number 10. Embrace change with grace. Change is inevitable. Imagine being in a relationship that's going through a transition. Perhaps circumstances are shifting, or emotions are evolving. Our first instinct might be to resist these changes, clinging to the status quo because it feels safe and familiar. However, Stoicism encourages us to view change from a different perspective. It urges us to ask, what can this change teach me? Instead of, how can I prevent this? This approach involves accepting that we cannot control everything in our lives, especially the emotions and actions of others. Instead, we focus on what we can control: our reactions, mindset, and actions. When we embrace change with an open and accepting attitude, we reduce stress and anxiety while increasing our capacity for happiness and fulfillment in our relationships. Handling change gracefully means understanding that all relationships evolve. Some may deepen and flourish, while others may naturally come to an end. The Stoic practice of detachment, not becoming overly attached to outcomes, but rather enjoying the journey, is crucial here. It allows us to appreciate our relationships for what they are in the moment, without clinging to what they used to be, or worrying too much about what they will become. Here's a practical tip. When faced with change, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what is this situation asking of me? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values and promotes growth? This reflection can help guide your actions and give you the strength to handle whatever comes your way with calmness and dignity. Embracing change is not about passivity. It's about actively choosing how we engage with the shifting circumstances in our lives. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we empower ourselves to navigate change not just with acceptance, but with a proactive and positive outlook. This not only enhances our own well-being, but also enriches our relationships, making them more adaptable and resilient to life's inevitable changes. In my own life, I've found that approaching change with this mindset has significantly reduced the anxiety and uncertainty that often accompany transitions. Whether it's a friendship evolving or a romantic relationship facing new challenges, viewing change as an opportunity for growth has allowed me to maintain calmness and focus. It's not always easy, but by consistently applying Stoic principles, I've learned to see the beauty in change and trust that each shift brings the potential for something new and valuable. Ultimately, embracing change in our relationships through a Stoic lens transforms how we experience these inevitable shifts. It allows us to remain grounded in our values, respond thoughtfully, and continue to grow both personally and within our relationships. By nurturing this mindset, we not only navigate change more effectively, but also build stronger, more resilient connections with those we care about. If this message resonates with you, feel free to leave a comment below or simply type, "I value myself," to affirm your commitment to your journey. Also, take a moment to explore the playlist on your screen. It's filled with discussions, insightful stories, and practical advice to help you approach life with greater clarity, strength, and confidence. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're all learning and growing together, one step at a time. Until we meet again, take care of yourself, stay mindful, and continue to nurture the Stoic within you.